얼굴도 엄청 잘생기고
Oh,
되게
no,
잘
you're not.
노십니다. 그래서
영재 형은 왕자병 같은 사람.
Oh, wow.
자존감.
크게
Oh,
봤을 때 저희를 지켜주던 게 많이 사라졌었고
uh,
신경 써주던 사람들도 많이 없어졌었고
uh, that was a lot, and I actually feel like I want to cry myself. I don't know if it's that. Wow, I don't know if it's that. Holy shit. Episode 2 was a lot more emotionally charged. Hearing them get so candid about like their past and what happened moving forward from B.A.P. Like, after they disbanded was a lot harder to swallow than I was expecting. Particularly the young story, which I'll get into in a bit. It was insightful to see what their thought process was after they disbanded and like how they move forward. For example, Youngjae's story about how even before the tour, he felt like he wanted to hang up his coat when it comes to idol life and just seemingly become an ordinary citizen. And had he not met the CEO of his company at the time, he probably wouldn't have been doing idol work or even celebrity work again. Jung up taking a year off for himself and doing things that he wanted to do. Jungkook as well, which I've come to realize this. Jungkook strikes me as someone who wasn't meant for idol life, and not that he shouldn't be a singer and artist. Like he has that talent, and you can see he has the passion to do music, but like an idol life itself, where you have to follow all these rules, you have to be, as he said, confined to a certain image and song. So him like using that time after B.A.P to do the music that he wants and to basically live a quiet life. Love that for him, and I could understand why he did that. Then they come to Daehyun's story, which I knew as soon as they stopped the music, I was like, this gonna be some heavy shit. One thing that I became aware of after watching this video, and I'm very happy that he was upfront and candid about it, was the reason why his performances after a while were not like they used to be. Because I came across some post that was saying because of the amount of heavy lifting he did when it came to the vocals in their songs, his vocal cord got damaged. And I was like, that makes sense. But the fact that he ended up mentioning that his vocal cords weren't the problem, but it was more that his support system and his safety net, if you could say, end up disappearing one by one. And I could see how that would fuck up a person's confidence. Because even in like some of the recent IG lives I end up coming across, his demeanor felt very different compared to when he was still in the group. And it just goes to show you that you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. He always seemed very bubbly and happy and what's not, but then in the recent ones, he has a very like calm, demure, almost a little timid, I would even say, kind of demeanor with him. And for that, I'm so sad. And I want to say upset. Because I could imagine, like, they had the lawsuit. I keep bringing it up against like a broken record. I don't care. But they had the lawsuit right at like their peak, right? Things didn't plan out, and because of that lawsuit, it really stopped the momentum with their growth and their popularity and all that stuff. Then they came back, and their time was very short lived. And as he said, like a lot of these changes were happening at like the peak of his musical career, like start to get back into things. He started to do musicals, and I remember him mentioning that certain things he couldn't get to do because of scheduling and a whole bunch of things happening in the background. So it's a lot to cope with, and I could imagine that he wasn't getting a chance to process all of that. And it been just too much, and because of that, his performances and then took a dip. He went into a depression of just like, what's the point maybe? Or should I even continue? Even though he had such a passion and ambition to be the best singer in the world, if I remember correctly. And I hope with this upcoming album he finds back that confidence, because he has too much of a beautiful voice and such a bright personality to get put out by the wall, if that makes sense. Because I want to see that man smile. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I want to see him smile and be happy and feel good about himself. Speaking of feeling good about themselves, I don't know who needs to hug Jungkook and tell him he is a beautiful man, but somebody do it, please. Like, I understand where he was coming from in the beginning, saying that a lot of people were telling him that, oh, he's ugly and he shouldn't be in this kind of industry and what's not. And it's so sad because I know where they were coming from. Because back then, the K-pop beauty standard was even more rigid, if that makes sense. It's still strict now, like it's still unattainable for no apparent reason. They had a very specific standard that they wanted back then, like V-shaped face, high nose bridge, thin lips, and like big eyes with the double eyelids. And Jungkook, according to those standards, wasn't fitting it. I see what they were saying. I understand where they're coming from, but it still bothers me that it was a thing. Because really and truly, they're beautiful. Like, they're really, really good looking men. You are beautiful. You are a handsome, lovely man. Have some confidence with yourself, okay? Jonghyun and Youngju dissing each other. Jonghyun saying that Youngju was on a high horse back then. He would say like, I would, I'm gonna mash up the song again, go kill the song again, go make the song my bitch, and then it end up the other way. But it's cute that they could still have that kind of banter. It's also very interesting to see like their first impressions of each other. Jungkook was like, oh, he didn't want to get attached to the new trainees because so much people end up training and because of circumstances end up leaving and what's not. He didn't want to get attached because it hurt to see like you get a bond with this person or this group of people, and then things didn't work out and they had to leave. So because of that, he ended up giving off a cold aura, even though he didn't intend to. While with Youngjae and Jonghyun and Daehyun, they were like, he felt so intimidating, like you don't wanna piss him off, and he doesn't seem like he like you. When really and truly, he probably likes you a lot, but he just doesn't wanna get heartbroken again. Actually, what Youngjae said is very valid. Like, Jungkook, despite us knowing that he's such a teddy bear of a man, his voice and general demeanor commands respect. You don't want to, like when he speaks, you better listen. Like, you don't want to mess up with that or anything. So I get it. I get it. And I love that they end up being in a group and they have such a, it was the emotional one. But with that, I'm Apple, and thanks for watching. If you see me in the next one, cool. So till then.